Okay, so remember, for a karyotype analysis, we need access to a fetus's DNA. Okay, so there's two ways as of the syllabus when it was published that we can get a sample of DNA. So the first one is amniocentesis. So in this case, what happens is around the 15th week of pregnancy, you stick a big needle in here and you take a sample, you withdraw some amniotic fluid. And you do this while you're under an ultrasound monitor. That's just so you don't end up poking the fetus. Um, so you do that, you take a sample, you isolate the fetal cells, um, and then you can run all the bio and genetic tests you want. So you can do a karyotype, you can do genetic testing and test for different disorders, lots of things there. But it does takes a bit of time to actually do. Okay, so who might do this kind of test? Well, if you're an older mother, you're higher risk of having Down syndrome and things. So they might recommend this if the ultrasound results, which is the most um, non-invasive thing, suggest that that might be an issue. Um, Now, if you're at a higher risk of like certain genetic disorders, you might what they do undergo what they call CVIS, so chorionic villus sampling. So this can be done as early as the 10th week of pregnancy. So you get about 5 more weeks. Um, and what you do here is these chronic villi are part of the fetus, or sorry, part of the fetus, part of the placenta, part of the mother at the same time. So what you can do is um, you put in basically a suction tubes inserted through the vagina past the cervix, and you go right up to the chronic villa, and you suck out a little sample, and that's going to include fetal cells also. Um, and then you can do this one a little bit quicker, couple of hours rather than days over here, because you have more cells to work with. Over here, you have to grow up the cells and incubate them, and that takes time. So again, the end result is the same. You can do biochemical and genetic tests on that information. Um, Now, both of these methods are becoming less and less common. One of the key big discoveries especially with Down syndrome in the past 8 years or so, is they've discovered that actually some of the fetal cells actually circulate in the mother's blood. Um, so there are tests they can do now where they actually just take blood from the mother, which is non-invasive, doesn't damage the fetus, or the risks there are really, really low because both of these have the risk of a miscarriage. It's a very low risk, but it's still a risk. And basically, they can isolate the fetal cells, and you can look for Down syndrome, you can look for sex and that sort of thing at a very early age, even before the 10th week or right around the 10th week. So it's a new method that's really actually that's quite useful if you're worried about having Down syndrome. Okay, but this is kind of the traditional way we get DNA for a karyotype.